Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything that you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin joining us. Welcome, Joel. Dennis Dick with you this morning. As you can see, I am back in the home office, home studio, whatever you want to call it. We are back to remote work in Michigan, so running this like we did for March, April, May, and a little bit of June. So hopefully things go smoothly today. If they don't, drop them in the chat, but just know I'm working out the kinks here. It's been about 5 months since haven't had my full desktop and full complement of screens to get me through the show. That being said, a lot of news today, right? Tesla being added to the S&P 500. Big news there. We've got some earnings on our radar. Amazon Pharmacy launching this morning. That's hitting CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid. We'll talk about that as well. We had Costco declaring a special dividend. We'll talk about that. So a lot to get to. We got some 13Fs, a lot to get to on the show. Nick Chahine will join us at 8:35. Let's throw it to Joel. Joel, in light of all of that news, where are we this morning in the S&P futures? Wait, let's unmute you here.
We are down almost 21 handles here, 20 and a half handles at 3602.50. If you faded that strong close yesterday, you are in the green today. Pre-market low 35.99. We will talk about the possible reasons why we're down. Crude just hanging down 7 cents here at 41.27. Gold down $1.50, call it $2 at 1885.80. Silver in the red by 8.2 cents at 24.72.5. And they keep running from the bids in Bitcoin. Now over $17,000, up $190 at 17,085. And then Triple D on a day like this with like the pre-market show, and we're talking everything that's going on. I'm like, how can we get this in 1 hour? There's no possible way unless we don't go on tangents. So this is no
tangent Tuesday.
Yes.
There'll be a few tangents, but I might go on one right now. So there's about 3 major big headlines here this morning, but let's start with the biggest of them all. And that is not Amazon Pharmacy. It is actually Tesla. And this has finally happened. It has been added to the S&P 500. The stock is trading up 13%. I don't even know if they know how to add this, Spencer. Give us details. Give us your thoughts, TSLA.
So they don't know how to add it, and we know this because they're asking for advice. So here are the details.
They're asking for advice on how to do it.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Standard & Poor's.
So here are the details. We know that Tesla was up for inclusion last quarter. The S&P committee kind of trolled everyone and didn't include them, and maybe they didn't want people front running the move, which I guess is fair. Regardless, they're adding Tesla now. The inclusion is going to happen at the quarterly rebalancing, which is Monday, December 21st, and Friday, December 18th. So that Friday, it'll be reflected as of that Monday. So that Friday is when there's going to be a lot of shuffling going on. They don't know exactly how they're going to add it, whether they should add it all at once or in pieces. So they are soliciting input from the investment community. I spent some time looking this morning for an email address. I found a couple, but I'm not sure they were the right ones. Regardless, I suppose if you email somebody at S&P Global, they would be happy to hear your opinion about how they should go about adding what I believe is the 5th or 6th largest, or what will be the 5th or 6th largest holding in their index. Those are the details there. And anybody who was waiting on this 3 months ago, you got it now.
I mean, this is why they were probably hesitant to add it too. They're trying to figure it out. They didn't even announce the company that's coming out. So they've saved that too. They just said this is going in. They don't know how they're going to add it. They don't even know who they're kicking out. So why don't they know how to add it? Because the market cap is so large. It's going to impact everything, including the entire market, because there's a whole rebalancing effect that has to happen. as you come in. I mean, there's going to be so many shares of Tesla that need to be bought. That is why, the ARBs this morning have bought the hell out of Tesla all the way up, 13%. Does it mean Tesla goes and gives us back? No, because there's so many shares you have to buy. Sometimes when you see an S&P ad, the stock can actually go down. If it's a smaller portion of the S&P 500 and it was a larger portion of the mid cap, which it was coming out of, you can actually have a net share selling effect. In this case, it's going to be all net buying effect. Everybody knows it. Every indexer has to buy the hell out of Tesla stock. And that's why it's trading up so significantly. So they're trying to figure out how in the hell do we add this so that it doesn't just disrupt, all of the other stocks in the S&P 500 because it's so large. So, I mean, I don't even know the answer to that question. There's no playbook for it. Just, to recap, the S&P has a rule, and you can, if I'm wrong here, Spencer, you know this better than I do, but isn't it 4 consecutive quarters of profitability to be added to the S&P?
Yeah, that's the rule. And I should clarify real fast. When I said add in pieces, this is what they're proposing. We either add it all in one fell swoop, or we do it in 2 tranches. We do it. The first tranche will be effective Monday the 14th. So the shuffling happens Friday the 11th.
How do you do that?
And then the second one happens the following week. So those are the alternatives. We do it all at once, or do it in 2 tranches, the 14th and the 21st.
It's going to be very interesting, to say the least. The fireworks that day, to say the least. Obviously, the trade can still get crowded. There's a lot of people who just bought Tesla, so you already got it crowded to a certain extent, but there's so many index buyers that have to come. Am I coming in here and fading it up 13%? I am not, because we knew this was
I was going to ask you that, Dennis, because you said this was a while back, and I know the scenarios change.
Yeah.
You said that when this got added to the S&P, that's when you were going to lay out as short. Now, I know that was a long time ago. We got different circumstances. How you feel about that now?
No, definitely not, because it's been in consolidation station. Tesla had a big run back then. So Tesla had run like 60% because they were doing the 5-for-1 stock split. So it had a huge run up already. So I was like, I thought it was overdone. I mean, Tesla's been in consolidation station for 2 months.
Yep.
So now you resolve to the upside. You're in breakout mode. I think the 500 probably gets challenged here eventually. I know valuation's crazy and everything, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to story stocks. And man, this is going to be all over the media for a long time. People are coming this morning, I need to buy some of this Tesla. They're saying it's getting added to the S&P 500. I mean, that story is going to stay hot here for a while. So all of a sudden, the Tesla story, which have never broken, but it had cooled off. I mean, we were in consolidation station for a couple months, 100 points off the highs. All of a sudden, the story's hot again.
Hey,
so you can't come in here and just say, I'm going to not, sell up 13% because this is stupid. There's, the index arbitrage effect here of, the indexers having to buy the stock is significant.
Real fast, I'm actually in the PDF doc for all the announcement, and ironically, or funnily enough, there's a link to an online survey, but the link doesn't go anywhere. What you can do is you can email in, and again, this is public. You can all find this yourself, so I don't feel bad giving it out, but you can email index_services@spglobal.com and basically vote A for do it all at once.
Oh my goodness.
Or B,
can you show us this? Show us this.
Do it in 2 tranches.
Show us this doc.
Can you show us, Spencer? He's got limited.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I can. Let me.
Yes, just one other thing.
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do it.
I've
never seen the S&P asking for advice on how to do this. This is not. There's no playbook for this. Even the ARB. I'm like, I argued this morning, and I argued this last night too. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if the SPY sells off because Tesla's going in, because everybody's going to anticipate that the other stocks got to get sold off to get Tesla into it. So I mean, there's so many effects here on the overall market, and it's very interesting.
So they basically these are the choices, right? How should Tesla be added? A, all at once in 2 tranches, and then there are different criteria of the 2 tranches, right? You do it 25-75, you do it 33-67, you do it 50-50, and again, the email is right here on the page.
That's crazy. They're trying to get advice from like people like us. Joel, give them some advice.
Index_services@spglobal.com. Give them your input.
Here's the deal, and I've got people asking, do the indexers? So I want to just clarify, because I was obviously not people who didn't do index ARB. I trade index ARB. So, I do this kind of stuff. And, there's no playbook for this one. This is going to be really interesting. It's going to throw it way out. One thing, the first question is why, is it so challenging? Because that rule that you said, that you have to have 4 quarters of profitability before you get added to the S&P 500 is a stringent rule that means usually when companies are being added to the S&P 500, they are fairly small components because you usually don't have a company that doesn't make money. That is the 6th most valuable company in the S&P. Usually you're not rewarding companies, traditionally that don't make money. But in this case, we know Tesla didn't make money for a long time. So they grew a huge market cap outside the S&P despite not making money. Now they do make money. They meet that criterion and they're going in, but they're already an enormous, enormous piece. They're not like number 475 going in here because they're finally making money.
Just what I was going to say.
So that's what really makes it difficult. Somebody was saying the indexers have already bought. The indexers cannot buy right now for the simple reason is that it's not in the S&P index. So if they are buying Tesla right now, if the index itself, the person who's got an ETF that's tracking the index, if buys it right now, it's not in the index. So that means you're not representative of the index yet. They have to buy as close to that date as they can when it's going in. So maybe that's why they're saying to help the indexers out, maybe we're only at half of it at first to figure it out. The buyers today are the anticipatory traders that are getting ahead of the indexers saying they got to come in and buy. This thing's going to eventually be going up because they have to buy. So I'm going to buy it right now. With people getting ahead of the indexers. Somebody like me would try to get ahead of the indexers. I didn't buy it. Wish I would have last night. It ripped 20 points before I even saw the headline. So, the bots were all over this. They probably had the algorithms written for this one for a while. Obviously, you could have bought it up 20 and you'd been happy you did it. It's up 50 here now. But, hindsight capital's 2020. Again, like I said, there's no playbook for this one. It's so big. How much does it go up? I mean, it could continue to go up. What I will say is it's stabilized up here after hours, Joel.
Exactly.
It's not like it's like, all of a sudden, it just ripped 52 points 10 minutes ago and it might give it back. It's in stabilization mode up here, meaning, it's going to probably hold these gains. I do not think, a lot of times I come in and I'm a natural fade trader. I've been talking about the fade trade and I come in here, oh yeah, sell, Tesla up 13%. I am not saying this in this case. I'm clearly not saying to fade this move. I'm not necessarily buying it, but I'm watching it closely. Again, I do index ARB. There's no playbook for this. So this is like a little bit of a learning experience, even for myself.
I just want to say a couple things here. Number one, you brought up the point of, bringing in such a big stock, right? I mean, usually you bring these stocks in, they work their way up. Before today, it had a market cap of 367 billion, right? Yeah. So I'm going to show you, and this is one of the things I hope you can see. This is like my main screen here that I look at whether I'm doing the show or not. And these are your top 11 components, where you put them together. Well, I was just doing some quick math here. It's going to pass J&J, okay? So it's going to hop right in here on the first day and be, I don't know.
Top 10.
It's not going to be Facebook. I couldn't get the Brick B. Is this showing up yet, guys, or not?
Yeah, it's showing up. Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, the Brick B, the Facebook is big. Obviously, I combined the two Googles to make it number 5. But holy moly, and just going back, I'll get rid of this and I'll go to the Tesla chart. This is and I'm not going to just say an important day, but I'm just going to say important couple days here, because Tesla had been, let me share my other screen here, in a major consolidation period, right? It had been in a trading range, and I have 378, it didn't touch that much, and I have 465, it didn't touch that much, but really between if you look at between 400 and 440, now if it could break above here, close
trading
above
range.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying one day. I'm saying more than one day, 2 days or 3 days. It breaks above that trading range, and you got some ways to go in this thing at 500. Now,
I think you see a new all-time high on this. I do believe that.
There's going to be a lot of buying, but there's your catalyst, and busted out. You look at that trading range. There was no reason. I'm glad I held on to mine. And now where are we at? We're at 461.22. I'll just drill down for today. And folks, these are just my numbers for today. I'm going to have to do some other numbers for Tesla. Pre-market high, 467.50. So you got to take out that. There was another high at 65.50. And take that out, and then you can see you get into this. Your next daily high is at 479.04. The other thing of caution is if you we're playing with dynamite and you're playing with the weeklies or even 2 weeks out, if you're selling a 380 call right now for $40, you're selling the stock at 520. So just keep that
480 call, 480 call.
Yeah, 480 call. If you're selling that at $40 today, and it's a weekly, you're selling it at 520. So just keep that in mind, when because those options, I mean, they're super expensive now. They're going to be jack on the open. But 15 minutes of Tesla.
Well, you got the EV trade to talk about here too. We're going to get NIO tonight. Every EV stock was trading up with the Tesla news last night. All of them, if you just go through them all. You can go, you pick whatever you want. But NIO is the one, the pure play you think about. NIO is trading up. It's going to report earnings here tonight. Again, I think the NIO broke. I think we had the break. It was a nice snapback rally. I think if you get a pop in NIO, I think the pop gets faded. So I would be a seller before the earnings. I wouldn't even take a chance for the earnings. They might beat. They might get the pop afterwards. I don't think NIO is going to take out the highs, though. So I would more be inclined to sell the pop on NIO. I'm out of it now. I've sold my stock. It was a wicked sell-off 2 days ago on Citron. Nice snapback rally yesterday. Again, predictable because these things like to rally ahead of the number. So, and it's rallying here this morning with the Tesla news and obviously it reports tonight. But that's a big report to keep an eye on, NIO.
I just want to say with NIO, when the original tweet came out on Friday, it still went up a little bit. And then when it
didn't get hit right away.
Yeah. And then it got hit, and then it get hit. But you know what? I got a line in the sand here for your NIO traders. They couldn't take out Friday's low yesterday. Friday's low was 40.55. Yesterday's low was 41.10. And now you're $5 away. So until, who knows? They don't like to report, and it opens up, down to 35, then you missed it. But the Bulls did a good job on yesterday against Left's call there. I thought that was very interesting that it held Friday's low. We'll see what the report brings. And then those other ones are going crazy too. What is it? What's XPing or whatever?
XPE or XP. What is it? XPEV, I think.
XPEV and LI are the other two.
Just keep an eye on your pre-market highs on those. These things are in no man's land. So
I think they've all broke. I would actually be a seller of the rallies on this, not on Tesla, but I'd be a seller on the LI. I'd be a seller on the NIO, and I'd be a seller on the N. I mean, and obviously we have an earnings report. Maybe they take out the highs on the earnings, but I think that candle spooked a lot of people. I think there's some overhead supply here now on those stocks.
Okay.
So the other big headline from today is Amazon, and Kramer has some bad luck, man. He did this whole segment last night, Mad Money, on how what companies were going to make money from the delivery of the COVID vaccine. And he said CVS, WBA, McKesson was his favorite. He says, I would buy McKesson tomorrow. I'd come out here right now and buy it. But people don't listen. They don't buy it tomorrow. They buy it right then. And this McKesson last night on the Kramer pitch went from $183 all the way up to over $195. They bought McKesson up over $12 last night, 7.5%, because Kramer pitched it. Obviously, the headline this morning has now turned all of those stocks deeply to the red. I mean, CVS was trading up over $1 last night. It is now down 6, and that is because of Amazon. So Kramer with some bad luck on the timing of his, I like the segment. It was kind of an interesting segment, but, just bad luck, bad timing. And obviously, all these stocks that were trading up last night on the Kramer pitch are down significantly because of this headline, Mr. Israel. Oh, you're on mute.
That's you, Spencer.
Yeah, I was giving you're a headline guy.
Yeah, I was on mute there. Sorry. Yeah,
that's why we hired you.
Again, Amazon Pharmacy, right? That's the news here. Not a total surprise. We knew they were working on this when they bought God, I'm blanking on the name now. Sorry. I was looking at Walmart there when you guys were talking about this. PillPack. They bought PillPack in 2018, and we knew they've been working with JP Morgan and Berkshire on some kind of healthcare thing. So this isn't a surprise. What's interesting is that it comes now. I mean, the timing is obviously very good. And it's live. That's the thing is they don't announce that it's coming in a couple of months. When they announce, they're going.
That's unbelievable.
It's live. So it's live in 45 states right now. You can, if you have Prime, you can go. You can order your prescriptions. You can get them delivered. for free. There are going to be other discounts at play there. So that's the headline. CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and also Walmart. I mean, Walmart's got some other stuff going on, but they have earnings this morning, and they also get a lot of business from pharmacy. So those are the four I'd be watching.
This,
again, not a total surprise, but this is God. I imagine being Walmart this morning, and you're minding your business. You're reporting your earnings. You're doing what you're doing. It was a good quarter. You're talking up how good your quarter was, your e-commerce sales, Walmart Plus, your new subscription service. It's all good. And then, boom, Amazon comes out with their own pharmacy. I mean, can't catch a break, but that's the headline.
Well, Walmart has been going head to head with them, and we know Walmart can, figure it out. I'm more worried about CVS and WBA. I mean, we've talked about this for years. We knew Amazon was going to eventually come hard at CVS and Walgreens and Rite Aid. We knew this was coming. It's why I haven't owned those stocks for years. I mean, but it's been years and years in the making here. And some of those stocks have actually held up, CVS has held up fairly well. I mean, this morning is a complete game changer for these stocks. Now, all of a sudden, just imagine being CVS and Walgreens, and you have Amazon Pharmacy where you can just go bang, bang, bang. Okay, I'll get my pharmaceuticals and then get them delivered to me. I mean, CVS, Walgreens rely on people coming in to their stores to get their drugs, and then they hope they buy some other stuff along the way, because that's where they really make the money, on all the other stuff that they're selling in there. So yeah, I'll go, I'm going to go to the drugstore today, pick up my drugs, I'll pick up some groceries while I'm there. Now all of a sudden you're going to lose, not everybody, like people are pointing out, Oracle of Marlboro, investor Mike on Twitter just tweeted at me, and he was just saying that old people don't want their drugs to come from the same place as dog food and glue. I mean, old people are I don't think they're the target market for Amazon here. Is your grandma that's used to going to CVS and pharmacy and 70 years old and she does it her way. I don't think that's target market. It's the younger generation. It's like, why the hell am I going to go to CVS and Walgreens? I can just get it online. Why would I do that? So I even get the mid, like the 40-year-olds like me. I'm like, I need some pills. I was like, way better, way easier. I'd get delivered. I mean, you can do that anyways. You can get delivered, but Amazon just makes everything so easy, and they're going to make it cheaper too. Somehow it's going to be cheaper too, your drugs, because they just figure that out too. So I mean, this is a complete game changer for CVS and WBA. And, some people, and we've said before, it's often a buying opportunity when Amazon comes in and these stocks have the snapback, kill them down 8-10%. CVS is down 7, Walgreens is down 10. But I think about this and I think about, man, this is really, really bad news for these companies.
It's really bad. A couple things here. I've been talking about, because I use the Walgreens here. I go, man, there's empty shelves. I'm like, and I'm not just talking about toilet paper. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, supply chain. And I'm like, no, man, people aren't coming in there. Empty shelves at a Walmart or CVS. I mean, that's something you never saw before. And we do talk about how these stocks, when they get Amazon, they eventually come back. I don't know about this one, but did you get down and dirty in any of these, Dennis? Did you trade any of these Kramer stocks?
Well, the Kramer pops, and I got burned on this one. So McKesson starts popping up. There's literally, and this is what I'm going to tell you, and Kramer should tell you this too. Don't go after hours on Kramer picks and start buying up these thin stocks, $14, like in the case of McKesson, because they're not going to open up $14 the next day. Anyways, MCK, when Kramer pitched that one, he says, I want you to go out this. He literally said, I want you to go out this and buy it tomorrow. But he didn't say go buy it right now, because he knows after hours is thin. There was no market in that stock when he pitched that. MCK, I looked at it. There's literally no offers in the book. No after hours, no market. And people don't know that. After hours, sometimes there's literally no market, meaning there's no bids and there's no offers. So if you can bid up $10, you can bid up all you want. And there's probably going to be somebody like me that would come and hit that bid because it's way too high. So anyways, it went up to like 191. I said, this is stupid. I said that flat out to myself. This is absolutely stupid to buy McKesson up $8 because Kramer, is pitching it. Not that Kramer is stupid. The person that's buying it is stupid to be buying up $8 on a Kramer pitch. It's too much for McKesson. It's a big stock. It's not going to go up.
Doesn't move. Well, it has moved.
Well, it moves, but it ain't going up $8 on this tomorrow. So I shorted at 191, and I watched the stock in the next 5 minutes go to 195, and I'm like, okay, that person wasn't stupid. I'm stupid. I'm like, I literally am down 4 points on this. I can't believe it. I can't believe. I think I was the first person that shorted McKesson after hours when somebody bid it up $8 because I thought, no way can it go higher than this. I did not anticipate this many they're writing stuff. I did not anticipate this many people buying it after hours. The retail crowd couldn't stop. They kept buying it and buying it. And it traded up there for the next 2 hours. Some volume up there, 193, 194, 192. And I was like, okay, I don't know. You can't fight the retail crowd. They're too powerful. So anyways, it started coming back in. And it was back to like 189 by last night before 8 o'clock close. And then obviously this morning, the news hits and they slam the stock. So obviously I benefit from the news because I did short it last night. But my point being is that some of these stocks are really thin. Because CVS went up $1 because of Kramer last night, maybe. McKesson going up 14 or 13 points because of Kramer, probably not the next day, because the institutions aren't going to allow that to happen. They're going to sell it. They're going to say, I get 185 or 188 for my stock. I'm going to sell it. So point being, I know we're on a tangent here. Just be careful when you're chasing these Kramer picks after hours. Nothing against Jim Kramer. It's against the person who doesn't know how to use after hours trading. I've traded after hours for 15 years. I tell you, there's some thin stuff out there. If you're paying up $14 because Kramer likes a stock, it's too much.
I'll tell you, no man's land. And we do say a lot of times, if you're new to the markets and you are doing the pre-market and after hours, sometimes it's better to use it as an exit. I mean, I know you might not always get the prime price, but
awesome to use.
If you had a 190 exit in McKesson yesterday, well, you were bummed when it went to 196, right? I don't know. When are you going to get a shot at that again? This stock, I'll just go through these real quick.
I was bummed when it went to 196. I was shorted at 191, and my jaws hit. I'm like, really? I'm like, I was even looking in the Benzinga Pro. I was like, is there other news? I'm like, did I miss something coincidentally that just came out? This can't be all off Kramer. It can't be up 15 points on Kramer or 13 points on Kramer. It was. They couldn't stop buying it. The retail crowd is very powerful right now, but after hours is thin. So anyway,
this
tangent.
is
no tangent Tuesday.
We're on our third stock of the day. 174. I mean, this is in no man's land. You had to gap and go, little bit, gap and go. There's a lot of air underneath this thing, folks. I don't know where it's going today. I would just give a potential target at the first gap fill at 172.20. But the boat is fully loaded. People buying it above 180 yesterday. They're scratching their head. Let me see with CVS.
CVS trade up pretty good too.
Yeah, look at that.
Up over $1 last night.
After gapping up yesterday. Oh my!
And now it's hit. I mean, do these bounce back here? Maybe, but I would sell them those bounces. Do you want to own the stock? Do you want to own it now that Amazon pharmacies like literally open for business?
They're probably going to bring back cigarettes now. They're probably like
good for Philip Morris.
They're looking for some packs of cigarettes in the store. They're like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
I don't know. Yeah. They need to get people back into the stores. They're gonna bring back the smokes. It's serious. This is a serious. So again, you're selling your CVS down 8%, or do you get that bounce back rally? Maybe the market lifts it up a bit. Maybe get out of your CVS at 70 on a lift. I always try to sneak out of the stocks. If I'm in for a swing trade and it slams it down, sometimes you get that the bounce back. Like on Twitter. Remember, I was long Twitter. And I waited for the bounce back, obviously the bad earnings. And I was like, I don't like it anymore because it was a really bad report and sentiments turned towards the stock. But, eventually did get that bounce back, where it got like 30-40% of the loss back. So, that's the selling opportunity. So I don't know in this case. So it's such bad news. I would be scared if I own CVS and Walgreens. I think they do probably bounce back a little bit there, but I would sell that bounce because I think this path now for CVS and Walgreens, at least from the company's fundamentals, is going to be much lower. They're going to make less money. There's going to be a lot of people that buy their drugs from Amazon Pharmacy. They're going to make less money.
What's going on with the whole health thing with Amazon and JP Morgan and Berkshire?
I don't know yet. I don't know. We don't know. That was like a couple years ago. Nothing has come of that yet. But we knew they were working on that. We knew they were working on the pharmacy. So.
Wow. Okay. All right. Dennis, there's pressure here on the S&P. They're selling 499 stocks right now.
That's what they're doing, Joel. That's what they're doing.
I wish I would have called you last night, man. That is
well, they're buying Amazon too. So Amazon, obviously, because Amazon pharmacy.
They're selling.
Buying Amazon.
Can you
buying
Tesla?
They're selling everything else.
Sell 490.
And wait, and just to clarify, that's Tesla, right?
There's index effects happening right now. Yeah. Like Tesla being up 12 points. So you can quick do the math. How big is it a component in the Qs? So let's go look at the Qs effect. We can see that already because it's already in the Qs. So this is a good exercise. So go into your Benzinga Pro, look up how big, here I can do it right now. Look up how Tesla TSLA, how big is it in the Qs? So Tesla is, of the Qs, it is 3.09%. So Tesla's currently up 12%. So take your trusty calculator there because I don't feel like doing the air math here. I'm not as good as Joel was with the air math. So trying to bring up my calculator, but my computer is slow and not responding. I don't know why.
What do you want? What do you want?
Go point. Come on. I'm trying to just bring up the bloody calculator. This is an exercise that you guys should know, though, because this is something, you know, that I just do. Okay, so what did we say? Tesla was, and I have like 5 calculators open.
3%. Just call it 3%.
Go point. Oh, it's 3.09. Let's do it right. 309.
Do it right, Spencer. Can't cheat.
Times, you can't cheat this stuff. Times the 12%.
Spencer.
0.127.
Cutting corners.
So, okay, so 3%. So you're looking at roughly, oh, that's a move of 3. It's a move of what? 0.4%. So 3. I'm getting filled on all these stocks too at the same time. Come on, guys, help me out here. 3.
Well, I asked you for the 4, what you wanted, and you just keep
3
talking.
times 0.12. So we'll just do the 3%. Like, so it's 0.36%.
There you go. I could have done that.
So the Qs is worth 0.36%. So that means right now the effect of Tesla, just Tesla on the Qs, is plus 0.36%, which is about $1. So the Qs, if everything was flat right now, the Qs would be up $1. But everything is not flat. There's a lot of stocks down in the Qs, and that's what's holding it down. So you see the Qs are trading 0 right now. If there was just Tesla, they would trade up about $1, a little bit more than $1. So, you know, you see Apple, it's trading down. And so, I mean, that effect is there, that they're actually hitting the other stocks to make up for the Tesla gain just today. And that's what I look at too, is like index effects. So they have to hit other stocks. Amazon's obviously putting a positive spin, you know, which is, it's a big, you know, impact on the Qs as well. So that's why the other stocks need to trade lower in the Qs to make up for the difference. That's going to be the calculation that's going to be happening on the index day to the extreme. So, I mean, this is what, you know, how, you know, the index ARBs work. So you got to figure it out. So they got to slam the other stocks to bring it in. And you're already seeing it today because of Tesla's huge move today and Amazon's big move, which is a pretty big move for Amazon too, that, you know, they've got to hit the other stocks in the Qs. And that's what they're doing. And then you're seeing natural rotation. So all of a sudden the EV trade, the tech trade's a little bit hotter here this morning. They're hitting the stay-at-home plays. So if you look, IWM getting slammed here today. So Tesla's fault on all this rotation today. So all the movement today is because of Tesla.
Yep.
Does that confuse everyone?
I've actually been listening to it, you know.
You've been listening to this for years, so you follow me.
I probably taught you some of this stuff. So anyways.
I think you did.
All right. S&Ps.
You and Professor Musson in the University of Windsor. Professor Musson, shout out.
Can we get him on the show?
Maybe.
Okay.
He has some great lines. Anyway, I don't want to give all this. Let's go. No tangent Tuesday. Nick's coming. One line.
One of his great lines.
What?
You'd say, "In God we trust, all others pay cash." You'd always say that.
But now it's "In God we trust, everyone else pays in Bitcoin."
Yeah, everyone pays in crypto. Okay, no tangent Tuesday. Bring Nick Chahine on.
Yep.
I'm sure Nick has a lot of thoughts on all of this stuff here that we've been talking about, including Jim Cramer. Nick, you're hiding in the background. Tricky Nicky.
Here. He's here. Nick Chahine is the author of Create Income with Option Spreads and sellspreads.com. Nick, good morning.
Good morning to you. So we're fighting this morning? What's going on?
No fighting. We're just looking at all these. I was just saying this Tesla move is so incredible that's actually knocking down the rest of the market.
Yeah,
from an index perspective, which is messed up, but I believe that's what's happening.
So my comment was, how many S&P indices do we have? This is like the 4th time we celebrate this move. So you know, it is what it is. It just cannot be this easy. You know, this is stock they shouldn't short anymore. Because it's actually creating cash. If you look at their income statement, and it's no longer a pie in the sky type of a deal. I mean, they made a market turn this year that is remarkable. So if somebody's been shorting it because it was going out of business, they can't do this, they can't do that. I don't think it's true anymore. So I do have a foot in my mouth, basically. For years, it was like, show me, show me, show me. And then
No, you've turned a while
I
ago.
did make the turn a while back, but for a while I was saying what the current rhetoric is, the negative rhetoric about it. But I don't think it's true anymore. So people should really open their minds to it.
What now, Nick? Like, you see this huge move overnight. Like, I mean, and this is a significant move. Stock's up 13%. It's breaking out. It doesn't seem to even want to give much of it back here. What do you do now? Do you wait, like, till the index, for the next month here, because we're a month away from getting added to the index? Or do you book the profits? If you had this overnight,
I would book it so fast. It was me. Yeah. I always book early, though. So I miss a lot of upside, which is fine because you've been in it a long term. And if you want to be a long termer, you have to be able to leave money on the table and book losses. So, and this is part of, and as far as trading it right now, if you just divest yourself from the emotional part, you would look at, what is it at? 460 this morning, 458. So on October 14th, that was just below the place where it failed on October 14th.
Good point. Yep.
And the place where it exactly failed on September 15th, which was a month earlier, and just below the level of its prior high, which was on late August, early September. So from that standpoint, I don't like to chase a stock that's going into prior fails. So buy it above that or fade it now and buy the dip towards the base from which it sprang. So if it dips to 440, 430, and you want to get on board for this S&P thing, fine, or chase the rip above it.
Excellent point on that. And I talked about this area too. It was looking for a catalyst, and now it has a catalyst. But we've talked about some other stuff, Nick, and we always, dictate. Is there anything here, special? We haven't asked you this question in a long time. Anything on your buy or sell, radar, something that, maybe is overlooked on, has potential value stocks, will that last more than a day or two? What are you looking at?
I look for value every day because I have to write them up for people who read the write-ups. So, and I'm finding it harder and harder to do. So I use a new tool. Seriously. So I use a tool.
It's interesting.
I brought in a new tool to my toolbox, which measures sentiment. Don't care how they do it. At least it's a measurement that I can use consistently. So it said that the broad market sentiment for the S&P now is 8.2 on a scale from 1 to 10. That's exactly where we corrected from in October. It wasn't a big correction, but it was a correction nonetheless. So if it never goes to 1 and it never goes to 10, 8 or 9 are the highest I've seen when I go back a year or so. So to me, nothing is a good value up here if I'm in it for short-term trading or mid-term trading. So I would rather wait out a little bit, or if I find some egregious spots. Like, everybody hates Baba right now. I know he's fighting Xi, and that's a big deal. I say he's not even in the company anymore. So Jack Ma. So it's hard to find them, but they're out there. So stick to the charts. Anything that looks oversold on charts and anything that actually has value, those are the ones I would bet on. And how I would use sold puts or put spreads just to keep buffers, or calls to limit the out-of-pocket expense. So instead of buying a really expensive, like, I don't know who's chasing Amazon up here. And that's my favorite stock and company. So you have to pick your spots, and you have
What's
to
your
know
least favorite stock and least favorite company?
Neo.
He listed pre-market prep. We were done with Neo 2 days ago, but
I shorted it. We were in the chat room, and somebody in my chat room said, I just bought Lotto puts in Neo. I looked at it, it's like, you know what? I'm going to join you. And I didn't do any homework. I just know the fact that it went from like 4 price to sales to 50.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
So now it's got so many more years extra of hopium into the stock price, and it loses 10, 11, 12 billion dollars a year. So this is not Tesla, by the way. And
people think it is, though.
As far as I know, it's a one-trick pony, and the selling point on Tesla that it's not a one-trick pony. So, and they don't have Elon Musk. They do have China market, so they have numbers on their side, but it's almost like Luckin Coffee. They're selling the crap out of it, but they're giving it away. And look what happened to that one.
It's gone.
Neo's worth $63 billion here this morning. Yeah. General Motors is worth $60 billion. Neo is worth more than General Motors.
Yeah, I saw that headline last week. So I shorted it, and it more than doubled in minutes. That was the day it fell apart.
Good timing.
Right, but I didn't get out. It was a lottery ticket for the earnings. So we'll see what happens tonight. Maybe they'll shut me up and put another boot in my mouth.
I don't know. Yeah, the deal. What about these banks? I mean, you got these moves.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm really throwing. I mean, gap and go. It's holding up. I guess interest rates are going up. Nick, did you get the memo on that? I mean,
I wrote the memo. 2 weeks ago, I looked at the TBT chart and the TNX chart on a monthly basis, and they looked like they based like I haven't seen in a long time. So I said, let's get long yields because I think they're swing up. And suddenly last week, everybody's on board. It's the same idea. So I was ahead of the train there. And based on that, when JP Morgan spiked, I shorted it and in the chat room, and I bought straight out puts when it spiked. And I said, this is not the place to go to JP Morgan long. I still think it's that's true because JP Morgan, I've always said the banks are cheap, all of them. Well, now JP Morgan and Bank of America are not cheap anymore relative to the other banks. Citigroup is, Wells Fargo is, but these two are not. So I would be more inclined to fade the JP Morgan pop and prove to me it's headed into a prior fail. Show me it can go above it. Then maybe I'll chase it higher. Otherwise, I would not start here. How about that? Wait for the breakout over the last fail, which didn't happen long ago. So where's the harm in waiting?
Quick question in the chat. I've answered it. Does it, this Tesla move, how's it going to impact other EV stocks? I mean, they've already had their own run. I don't think we're going to be seeing another EV stock added to the S&P. Tesla's Tesla. I think you have to trade those other stocks on their own technicals. Nick, you want technicals or fundamentals if they have any?
I thought it would rob all others from bids, but they're all
Good
moving.
point.
It's robbing the S&P from bids this morning. They went another direction with it.
I just don't get it.
They're selling the other 498 companies in the S&P this morning because they're buying the hell out of Tesla and Amazon.
I thought for sure they would roll out of NIO back into Tesla. I thought for sure that this morning they would do that.
I think it's this headline. I think what happens is, and obviously I trade a lot of sympathy, but I think you get the snapback. Oh, EV. Okay, Tesla's hot. That's going to make all the EV. It's a natural thought that's going to go into this. But you think about what a real sympathy play is. It's like, oh, Tesla reports good numbers, sales numbers. That means the other EV makers, and there's nobody else.
I get that.
Except NIO. I get that. But this isn't that. This is an index move that's specific to Tesla. This is so not that. So I would fade the positive moves here in these other stocks, aside from the fact that NIO is going to report tonight. So it's hard to put a short position on a stock that's going to report when you don't know it's going
to. It is easy to do it if you just want to buy it.
Yeah, you can just hit the sell button.
Well, no, but you sell a stock short. That's pretty dangerous to do it into a headline. I agree. But if you can buy at $10 wide debit put spread out a couple of months, where's the harm in that? A finite amount of money that will give you
good point.
You can triple your money, quadruple your money, and the outcome, use an amount of money that won't break your heart or your piggy bank. It's literally like a lottery ticket, but you don't have to do it at all. You can just claim you did it and be happy about it after the fact. But if you want to participate, that's the easy way of doing it. And I hope it stays green into the day for NIO, because then it'll be easier to lose footing on earnings.
Nick, what about the market here? We didn't quite get the same reaction. You weren't on last week. We got that spike to 36.68. You got some more good news yesterday. Similar news. Stocks didn't get back up to those levels. Little early to be talking about year-end window dressing, portfolio dressing. Where you at? Where you at on this market? I mean, have you hit some targets and you're just waiting for a little reset to buy, or 3,600, 3,700, 3,800, 3,900. Where are you on the broad market?
So every week I do a Sunday charting session in the morning, and I do a video write-up, and I've said 3,750 was my first eyeball target, and 4,000 is doable if we can do. I said it on your show actually a couple of weeks ago. I remember that. I said I do have technical scenarios that will get us there, and I'm open to it. But if I'm a trader at sentiment being this high, I would rather fade it. So I was long into yesterday's pop, and I booked the longs. I was long Apple. I was long the S&P, and I'm not completely short. I do have some iron condors with room to go. Like this week, I was trying to pin a close just below here. So I sold some call spreads. I sold some put spreads, and my break-even point is just above here. So I'm kind of like trying to thread the needle for a short term. But longer term, I can make an argument, easy argument for 3750 and an argument for 4,000 and higher. But I'm not the guy that's tooting like go everything. You have to be picky.
Nick, what about, we haven't had you on since the election, and I see some of the tweets that you have and everything. I mean, right now, the market seems to be anticipating Biden presidency with a split House.
Right.
You see things, Biden following, maybe some of Trump's policies on trade. I don't, what do you think? Just give us without giving us your political opinion, give us your
my political opinion,
economic opinion.
I have a flag in front of my house, so that should tell you my political opinion. So this cost me followers and subscribers, and I don't know why. Having one opinion over another, it's not like I'm a hater of this or a hater of that. I just want the country to be as secure as possible. That's my only baseline, because I grew up in a country that wasn't secure, and safety is the number one issue in my mind, not economics, nothing else. So as far as what's going on here, the Georgia runoffs are really important. I'm not a political expert, but I understand there are 2 runoffs there that could actually make it a Democratic sweep with the House, Senate, and the presidency, the White House. So that would make it really dangerous for businesses. And maybe big business will regret putting Biden in there, because that scenario gives them whatever they want to do, maybe if they don't do anything. But if they get behind prosecuting or following the breakups of the big tech companies, that would be bad. I don't know why they would want to do that. I mean, you have a successful company representing your country. Why on earth would you want to demolish that?
Hey,
so
Nick, I have a question for you just on that point. I want you to go on a tangent on this, so I just want to expand that point. Wouldn't you think, like from a stock perspective, though, if they actually broke up some of these companies, it'd actually be good for the stocks? I
made a joke. That you would have, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook.
Can you imagine that?
all companies would be great.
That Instagram would instant premium for Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram would be so much better than Snapchat, by the way. So
way better. What's Snapchat worth? No, the Instagram's going to be double that.
Yeah, so
they should spin it off.
It's not a bad idea, but the idea of hey, your company is too big in a capitalist country.
Yeah.
What? Since when? It's not like it's a monopoly. They say it's a monopoly. How so? Monopoly. If I have a store and it's super popular, and you don't like the way I have my sales commissions or my split with my people that put stuff in my store, don't come to my store. Build your own store. How is this a monopoly? I just don't get it. I mean, it's benefiting the consumer. We pay less because of Amazon.
We will find out if the government can prove that, I think, that's shortly. The next couple of years, they're going to try to prove that very thing. So we'll see. Nick Chahine is the author of Create Income with Option Spreads. He also runs sellspreads.com. Nick, thanks for the time today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Nick.
There's a bunch of stuff we haven't had time to get to yet.
You're gonna run the show for the rest
I want to start with
start
with Walmart here. They had earnings this morning. The conference call, I think, just wrapped up. If not, they're almost wrapped up by now. But it was a good report, a good quarter from Walmart. The Q3 adjusted EPS $1.34 versus $1.18 estimate, so they beat that. Sales of $134 versus $132 billion. They beat that as well. Comps up 6.4%. E-commerce sales grew 79%. But the one thing I was watching for, they have not answered. They did not give any insight into the initial subscriber growth for Walmart Plus, which is their answer to Amazon Prime. Remember, it went live in September. I was hoping for something, anything, any insight at all on Walmart Plus. I have not seen anything. There was nothing in the PR. I don't think there'll be anything in the transcript. Nothing this morning so far on Walmart Plus. It's what I was watching for. But regardless, it was a good quarter. They beat all the estimates. Their e-commerce sales, again, 79% growth year over year. That's huge.
I mean, and it popped up to 157. Two reasons why it doesn't hold a pop. The first reason is it's kind of run into, and there's a lot of good expectations, and it was a pretty good report. But I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when we started the show, Spencer, is that this gets dinged from Amazon Pharmacy as well. And I don't think this is going to just snap back and go 153, 155. I'd actually be a seller. Even here, I know it got to 157. People are like, oh, it's 150. It's a pretty good report.
Still up there.
I wouldn't be surprised if the stock loses another $5 from here. Just on, and not, maybe not deserved because
not today.
Walmart,
not today necessarily.
No, today. I think I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to. I said I wouldn't be surprised. So I would not be buying Walmart here. There's too much. It was a good report, but there's too much of this negative sentiment towards anything Amazon right now. Walmart in the long term is not going to be affected by Amazon, I don't believe, here with Amazon Pharmacy. Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS directly impact. The direct hit, like boom, we smoked them. And this smokes them. And that's why I want nothing to do with them. I just think there's so much nervousness around this Amazon Prime for all these companies this morning that I think a little bit of that goes into Walmart too. So I would not be surprised Walmart continues to leak. Target as well. But I would be inclined to buy the dips on Target and Walmart if they get significant dips. I will not be buying the dip in CVS and Walgreens. Okay, I'm done.
All right. I wish I would have brought this up a few days ago when I had this consolidation area, and then it broke out from 146.50 and kept on going. And now I haven't even taken out yesterday's low. So I will use that as the point of control. If you take out 149.50, I agree, considerable downside here. Kind of broke out from this 146.50 area. That could be a natural potential target today. If I go with the porch indicator, packages that arrive on my
I like that.
Yeah.
The
package
briefcase indicator, porch indicator.
I'm a buyer of Walmart here.
You're buying Walmart 150.
Well, I don't know about 150, but boy, oh boy,
145. Come to Papa.
Yeah.
I like the 145.
She's
I'd be a buyer at 145.
We're getting a lot of Walmart in those boxes. I know I'm in trouble when I see the UPS guy getting out the dolly, right? Because the box is so heavy. And then he rings the doorbell and then he runs away. Really the only person I get to talk to during the day. And then I have to struggle to get the box in the house. It's so big, but we're buying a lot of stuff from there besides Amazon, Costco, and Trader Joe's, Walmart. You get a lot of stuff from there that you can't find from other places. But let's see what happens at 149.50 in Walmart today. That was yesterday's low.
All right, let's talk Home Depot quickly. They had earnings this morning as well. Earnings per share beat $3.18 versus $3.05. Sales also beat 33.5 versus $32 billion. So beating the beat for Home Depot.
As good as it gets. I mean, this environment is as good as it's going to get for Home Depot, I think. So we've been in consolidation station here for a while. They're just a victim of the stock is run. I mean, it's been the stay-at-home stock that everybody's running. I mean, first, in March, they killed everything, and then they decided that, no, this is the one. It's been an incredible run. I mean, we have doubled since March, 140 to 280. So it's a huge company. It's a huge move. It's been a consolidation. I think it just keeps trading in the range here, but the report was fine is all I'm saying. I just think the expectations are too high, and I don't know how much better it gets from here for them. So that's why I don't think I'm a buyer or a seller. I'm just it's all priced in.
How is that for some pretty drawings there? Look at that, Dennis.
Look at Joel with these lines.
Look at that. There you go.
I didn't even have to take over and draw that. Very nice little wedge you're drawing. A big wedge, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, it's a wedgie.
That's a big wedgie.
And it is below the bottom. It's below. Besides that, I don't know what to tell you guys about this chart. I mean, this is some mess. This is messy, actually.
It's hard one to figure out.
Yeah, I'll pass.
We pass on Home Depot. This is this trade the range. It's down 263. It's a buy. 290 is a sell. I'll trade the range until it doesn't work anymore. Next.
All right, the other two reports quickly. I just want to hit on Kohl's and IQ. Kohl's was this morning. The EPS. The estimates must have been way off. There was some adjustment there because it was a 1 cent gain versus a 43-cent loss estimate. So I don't know how comparable that is.
Not bad.
I don't know if it's comparable. Sales is more comparable, 3.98 versus $3.86 billion. Kohl's is kind of sleepy. You're not doing a whole lot. IQ is getting hit pretty hard. I'm not quite sure why. There must be something else in this report, but the headline numbers were fine, and they gave some all right, not amazing guidance. But Kohl's beat, sleepy, IQ beat, okay guidance and getting hit.
The reopening trade cooled off yesterday. I sold all those stocks. Kohl's obviously part of that reopening trade. The only one I did hold, I held a little piece in Norwegian because I wanted to have a little bit of reopening, but I sold my save in the pre-market. I sold my AAL in the pre-market. I sold my Wynn Resorts or in the pre-market. I sold most of them before the show even started because I just was like, this is just, too good of a
plan.
price
You
not to
traded
sell.
your plan.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the save, and I got a 21.89. I mean, it never even came close to there in the regular session. So, like you say, sometimes the after hours just gives you some nice prices. When I believe was the same thing. I sold at like 98.90. The high was 98.36 on yesterday, so I got out higher than the high of the day because I got out in the pre-market. So, I would reload some of these if they pulled back significantly. Like Kohl's fits that bill, which is why I went on the tangent. If Kohl's got down to 24, I think I might buy it. Again, we still have COVID, we still have issues, but this is going to still be, whipsaw action and good lines, good vaccine. Oh, but lockdown. These stocks are buys on dips and sells on rips until further notice.
It's funny.
But dip not being 1%, dip being like 10% on these stocks.
Spencer mentioned this being a sleepy stock, and I just drew the this line over, and probably it's the June high of 29. I'd be like, wake me up when the stock closes, above 29 and takes out 29. Then maybe it's worth looking at on the long side. On the downside, Dennis, you gave an intermediate level, but let me give you some monthly lows: 1869, 1867, 1861, 1828, and 1836. So it doesn't look like we're going back down there. Now the institutions are going to step up, at 21, 22, 23, but it built a major base there. So buyer pullback, I'd like to see it cheaper than 25 though.
Real quick, I just want to mention we got retail sales about half hour ago now. Missed expectations, only a 0.3% gain versus a 0.5% estimate. So at least we're back as far as retail sales. We're back in what is considered like normal territory, like anywhere in the from the flat to 1.5% range is like normal territory. That's where we've been now for a few months. So missed estimates for October retail sales, but normal range nonetheless.
Can we give Mitch some love again? Mitch, our story stock trader, I believe, talked about fuel cell. When did you talk? Can we bring Mitch
2 days
on?
ago.
2 days ago, he's mentioning fuel cell. Holy mackerel, Mitch, your timing is impeccable here because FCEL ripped 2 days ago, and then it really ripped yesterday, and it's continuing to rip this morning. I had this stock at one time, and I got sick of waiting. I actually took a small loss on it in the twos, and there it is at 413. I did not hold long enough. Mitch, congrats on a great call again. Tell us what you're doing with it now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Dennis, I learned a lot from you, so I got to say thanks to that. But, one of these is also using technicals. Like Joel talks about, when we get above that resistance, that daily resistance, and we can create new support, that $3 hold. Yesterday, I got in at 304, and I was selling into the resistance in the 350s. I got my last sell out in the 360s. But this was just a kind of a lagger play in my eyes.
So are you out of it now?
Yeah, I'm out of it. I usually just day trade these and come in and out because I can't sleep overnight holding. But
that's how I started but Joel, we all did that at Bright Trading. We all were just intraday traders, day traders, getting everything flat at 4 o'clock for years. I switched over like 10 years ago I'm basically an overnight trader now because I like trading news. But I mean, that's a good way when you're starting out, you're figuring out and you get a little story and you see some momentum go in your stock. I mean, there's a lot of alpha to just extract from these intraday moves. So it's a good call, Mitch.
Like I used to go to the track with my dad, and there'd like be a big favorite in the race, and he'd see a horse and he'd go, I'm going to do a $10 saver. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I like this long shot here at 20 to 1. So he'd put $10 saver. And if that horse, he hit those every once in a while and they came in with something, I'm not sure what the margins are your account, but even if you could just keep, this is a lower price stock, even if you could keep like 100 shares or something, something. So the next day when you're coming into the market, you have a mindset. You're like, oh man, I bought this yesterday at 310. I sold it at 370. Now it's 405. I don't know what to do. Just something so you have a point of reference. But, that also can work negative against you. And we don't need to tell the Lucid story, but just a little bit of a trick there for the mindset. 9 a.m. Spencer.
Yeah.
We're
we didn't give Mitch any screen time hardly there at all. I wanted to bring him in.
Well, it's early out
You're
there.
good,
Maybe he
you're
didn't
good.
comb his hair today or something. I don't know.
Another one to
video.
keep. Another one to keep on watch. You'll see BL&K also ripped with that one. I'm going to be looking for these to pull back a little bit today, just because they got way too extended yesterday. But definitely keep these in mind. These lagging plays to the EV. That's kind of what I was looking for in these. I saw the EV rips, so I was looking for maybe some fuel cell plays or some battery plays. And you saw BL&K and fuel cell make that move. And some other ones, I think.
Yeah. What else on your radar? You got us one other one?
So today, actually, it's kind of, I'm looking at tech for some reason. I'm feeling like this AMD chart is getting ready to lift off.
You're liking back in AMD. Ooh, it's sleepy.
It's been consolidating there.
Yeah.
And I think, this could be the time that it starts taking off again. So AMD is one that I'm looking at.
Okay. I was just, when you were talking about the AMD, Dennis, you're still alive on that spread?
No, I'm still in the spread. My call was it's going to go to 100 by the end of the year. My timing actually might work out pretty good if this thing starts to go for a run here at the end. I don't even remember the options I got. I think I'm long I can't even remember. I don't remember the spread. I put it on for $6 though. So I think I was long the 85, short the.
I think you went 80, 100, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I bought the 80 and sold the 100.
Just going back to the battery thing, all the people that whined in the chat about LTHM and that stock when it went up and down.
Yeah.
Don't whine. I mean, we're not 100%. We're not going to give you winners. We're going to give you losers. That's just part of it. But, you just got to look at things from a longer term. That thing's over $15.
Are you still in it?
Yeah, I am.
You know what? This is but this was the spinoff from FMC, wasn't it? Was this not the spinoff from FMC?
No, I don't.
Because FMC had a huge lithium business, and then they spun it off. And I think LTHM, I'm going to look. Levent, FMC, a quick Google will probably tell me if I'm right.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
No, good call.
This was the FMC spinoff. I used to own FMC just for their lithium business, and then they separated it. And obviously Raznick was pitching as well. I was like, wow, I've always liked FMC because of their lithium business. Now you can just buy the Levent, just the lithium business directly. I don't have to have the other stuff with the FMC. So I'm still long LTHM. I bought it around $6. It's 15 here now. I haven't sold a share. I believe in the story here. I think it's going a lot higher.
I have it in the absolute don't ever
I don't want to
sell
look at it.
That's what I have it in.
I think this could be like
Peloton is in the account where I want to sell. Okay.
It didn't matter what account Peloton was in, you'd be wanting to sell that one, Joel.
I've been wanting to sell it.
You're lucky Lisa didn't let you. Yeah,
I don't know. It's just because she's got a mixed on the whole on the whole pandemic thing. She's just not a believer in the market. As we're as close to an end as possible. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get her to put a stop. Like
the one thing is it's overbought right now, so it's due for a pullback. We had a little, negative action there. Can it take out the high? Lithium, going back to lithium. So that's where we started. I'm bringing it back full circle here. So it has, had a pretty good run. I don't know if if I wasn't in it, we went from 8 to 16 in a month.
It always pulls back.
Yeah, you get another shot. I mean, I just am trying not to look at it. Part of me wants to sell it and try to rebuy it, but we know I miss those usually. Then I get out pretty good on the sale, and then I don't rebuy it, and then I'm mad at myself. So I'm trying not to look at LTHM.
Oh, we got to cover one stock here, and PJ Williams brings it up, and I know he always gives this, and I'll let you go after this, Dennis. IEP, Dennis. Remember when I wrote that article? It's probably not even. Remember when that went to $150?
Yeah, because everything was Icahn. It was all about Icahn, and you were paying like 120% premium to the net asset value. So when you're buying funds like Berkshire Hathaway or buying IEP, you can quickly do a NAV. It's called the net asset value, and get the NAV on it and realize what you're paying the premium for Uncle Carl. So Icahn Enterprise, every quarter they post their NAV. And sometimes it's tricky to figure this stuff out. So I'm trying to get the NAV from the last, what it was. but if you Google it, well, anyways, it's not, it's going to take more than 30 seconds to find out. But NAV is what you want to look at. And then what is the premium you're paying for it? What Joel's referring to, if you go way back there, the NAV on Icahn Enterprise back in 2013 was like $60 and it traded to 140. And you wrote an article, it's like, this is ridiculous. It's trading like 120% over its net asset values of a fund. It's a fund. So you're paying, your 120% premium because Uncle Carl's managing the fund. We mean Carl Icahn, obviously. So, I mean, now it's come back down. Where's the NAV? Last time I had checked, it was around 37, but that was like a year ago. So I have no idea where the NAV is now, but the premium's reasonable now. So I know people look at this 15% dividend. They're like, whoa, that looks awesome. But I don't know. He keeps paying these. It's $2.
We haven't heard from him in a while. I mean, this is when he was all over, fighting with Icahn and everything, and he was in the news. And yeah, I hope he's doing okay. Carl, if you're listening,
getting older.
I don't think he's listening somehow.
You don't think so?
No. Real fast, we didn't even mention the Berkshire 13F we got yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
The headline there is he is long pharma, new position.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Dennis?
AbbVie, Merck, and Bristol Myers and
he's
Pfizer.
all over the place, man.
Yeah. And then he did cut his Apple stake by 3.7%, and he exited his Costco stake. Costco, if you're wondering why that's up, they announced a special $10 a share dividend last night. So
we didn't even get to that stuff. You got to be kidding.
We didn't get a lot of stuff. There was a lot of talk on Tesla.
A lot going on today, man.
So AbbVie, Pfizer, T-Mobile, Bristol Myers, and Merck. 5 new positions, and 4 of them are pharma.
And Snowflake.
He bought. Well, we knew Snowflake though because he was on that on the IPO.
He was on the IPO.
He did not buy Snowflake at 260. He was participating in the IPO, which great. PJ Williams, $10 tip.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
I think that's his second tip today.
PJ's awesome. We love you, PJ. So, anyways, Warren getting busy in the pharma stocks.
What do you think about that? They've been sleepy for so long.
Warren's struggling right now to find where he wants to be. I mean, he's trading a little bit. He was selling all his airlines, and then he's selling all, his banks to a certain extent. Now he's buying pharma. I think he's diving into the COVID maybe a little bit too much. So Pfizer's come off. Pfizer now, okay, I'm going to say something on Pfizer. Now you strike. If you wanted Pfizer, and this morning, obviously, it's trading down here. I don't know what the hell the headline. I guess it's probably trading. No, it's Pfizer's trading up. What happened with Pfizer? Do a spinoff today? Wait. Pfizer's adjusted close is 35.38. So it's up $1.11 actually this morning. What did Pfizer spin something off today?
I'm looking.
Pfizer did something. Here. There's an adjustment to be made. So Pfizer's not trading down according to my Ready Plus platform here. It's adjusted close is 35.38. So
it could be dividend, is it? No, what?
Not that big.
It's what it is they combined their they spun off a business with Mylan is what they did.
Okay, so you're getting
that's confusing as hell. Look at that.
Pfizer's Upjohn spinoff completed. Merger with Mylan to form Viatris. Yep. Viatris. What the heck? So VTRS. So I'm assuming I'm getting some shares. I own Pfizer. So I'm assuming I'm getting some shares of Viatris.
Yep.
If I'm saying that right, VTRS.
Do you know where the Upjohn family's from? The pharmaceutical family?
No.
Monroe, Michigan.
You know everything about Monroe,
Jennifer
Michigan.
Upjohn.
You should be the mayor of Monroe, Michigan. I vote Joel next mayor of Monroe, Michigan, even though he doesn't live there.
Not getting
really should. All right. I think this went well. My first show back at home. Keep working on some kinks, but it was a good show.
It was good. You sound good now.
Thanks. We appreciate all the participation, all the comments, all the likes, all the super chats. Smash that like button if it's above or sideways or wherever it is on the screen.
260.
Wherever your like button is, if it's up or down, hit that. We appreciate that. That helps us out with YouTube. Thanks to our guest today, Nick Chahine. You can always email us questions, comments, concerns, premarket@benzinga.com. Please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. We've got a lot more stuff on our YouTube channel all day before our show, after our show. Check it out. We got a lot of good stuff there. That'll be it for us for now. We'll be back with you at 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, everyone stay safe and happy trading.
Hey, Spencer, if it gets over 60 degrees, we'll go do a virtual lunch somewhere.
There we go. I don't know if that's allowed, but all right, we'll try.
That's right. All the restaurants are closed too. Okay.
That's true.
All right. Well, we won't have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches then. All right.